Will Ukraine legalize cannabis to help its citizens cope with trauma caused by the war?
Consumption lounges are finally coming to Nevada, and a couple of dispensaries are getting ready to blow your mind.
Locally, Florida's Attorney General Ashley Moody is trying to shut down the $39.5 million Trulieve backed recreational ballot measure.
And for our interview, we chat with the Dank Girl Chelsea Green about her all-women cannabis retreats.
All this and much more on today's show. Hey, you made it to the greatest show in town. I'm Sunny D.
And I'm Captain J.
And we're the Pot Smoking Moms. Hey, if you enjoy the show, if you're here right now, do everybody a favor, including yourself, because you want to be the first one to know about new episodes and new stuff we put out. Rate, subscribe, share. Subscribe. We got our YouTube page. It's popping over here.
Like this video. Watch the comment. Or watch a comment. Leave a comment
Leave
if
a
you're
comment.
watching on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
Watch a comment.
And link up with us on all social media platforms. Potsmokingmoms.com is our website. Go there.
Check it out. But what do we start every show with?
Oh my God.
A smoke sesh, of
Yes.
course. And I'm ready for mine.
Yes. Pack your bowls.
Because here we go.
Or take your blunts out.
I have a bowl packed here.
Yes.
Of
as well.
Fluence Freedom Town Holdings Gazungas.
Gazungas.
This indica strain crossed from Zittles and Rainbow Chip will have you bouncing with happy euphoria, followed by soft and cuddly relaxation. The complex terpene profiles gives the FTH Gazungas a glazed fruit tart aroma with earthy citrus fruit flavors. In addition, users of Gazungas, I just like to say Gazungas, noted benefits in relieving the symptoms associated with insomnia, anxiety, chronic pain, and PTSD.
Nice. Very nice. I have some Freedom Town Holdings Supreme Diesel. You know how I like the diesely strains. It's a balanced hybrid crossed from sour diesel and jet fuel gelato. Citrusy diesel aromas and flavors lead quickly into uplifting euphoria, followed by deep relaxation, making this strain perfect for early evening use. In addition, users of Freedom Town Holdings Supreme Diesel cite benefits in relieving symptoms associated with stress, depression, and chronic pain.
Nice. All right.
All right, we're also going to be rating it. So
Cheers.
Cheers. If you got them at home, light one up with us. Pretty good. This has got a very diesely smell. I love that. It's got a nice, like, when what I do really like with some of these, when you smell them and they're all full, when you hit it out of a clean bowl, you could really taste like the pininess, how peppery it is. And this is fantastic. I'm gonna say, and you know what? My palate had been cleansed because the last stuff I hit at in my house was like the stuff that you like put off
the bottom of the bag,
the bottom of the barrel, man.
The strain you like the least out of all the ones you picked. So you just
you're like, oh well, I have to smoke this because I don't have nothing else. So to come back and reward myself with something like this, really tell the difference. So what are the ratings? What are we doing again?
We're doing between 1 to 5 for aroma, taste, and initial effects.
Okay, so aroma, I'm gonna give it a 4.5. Taste, I'm gonna give it a 5. And the initial effects, listen, this is not my first bowl. This is like that's why I cornered it off very slightly, because I've had 2 of these already. So
since you got here, that's what you've been smoking.
Of the same, yes.
Okay.
So I could even give you like the end result of what the overall lasting effects are, but initial effects, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 as well.
This is really good. I really like Gazungas. not just because of the name.
Say that. We're gonna have to get.
I really
Gonna put that on the soundboard. I really like gazungas, 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 and we can just that.
I have to give it a 4.5 all the way across. It's really good. It smells good, tastes good, and the initial effects are great. This is the first time I've tried it. This bowl right now with you guys. I picked it up yesterday, and I actually cleaned this bowl right before we started so that I could have a good taste of it, and I like it. It's really good.
Yeah.
The description is very on it.
Gazungas.
All right, let's see how that rating holds up. I do want one more hit though, just because it
Go
tasted
for it.
really good. And
So we're recording now. After we go here, we're gonna go to the Sunset Sesh. It's a local event that we're hosting with Miami High Life. It's in Hallandale. It's at 2 p.m. We'll have an update on that, how that went next week. But are we taking the student class out there? The student class,
you know what? We talked about doing that.
right? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. We'll discuss further
Yeah,
after
okay.
this.
All right.
What I'm really excited for is our patron get together coming up soon, which is our Boats, Bitches, and Blunts Day.
Yes.
The 3 Bs.
The 3 Bs. I love that name.
So we're gonna have a good day, a day out on the water. Go out, spend the day at the sandbar. Go to
When
to
is that?
dinner.
July
16th. It's a Sunday.
July 16th Sunday.
It's supposed to be from 1 to 8.
Yeah, so if you are in the area, if you're a pot smoking mom and you want to get in on this, hit us up.
Hit us up. We're splitting. We have 3 available slots right now.
Yeah.
So we don't have much room, but
yeah, but if you're listening to this and you want to get on board the boat with the blunts and the bitches,
we're bringing the blunts, we're bringing the bitches, and they got a boat that we're getting on.
Yeah.
It's actually just boat, bitches, and blunts, not boats, but
we'll be around a lot of boats.
Yeah, we're gonna be around other boats. We're going to the sandbar. So I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Yes.
I already got a couple things for the goodie bags for the ladies.
Mom's getting loose.
Oh, I got to show you that after here, what I got.
Fun.
Yay.
Yeah, so this is all stuff that we do with our patrons. If you want to get in on that too, join our Patreon.
Yeah, we are planning this out basically on Discord. And we also are trying to plan a Vegas trip. So one of the stories coming up
is there
that
we're
going to be
trip?
talking about, we're talking about it.
Oh.
Yeah, for birthdays.
Well, consumption lounges, we talk about that later on the show. Go listen, guys. I don't know if we're able to get the video to reference, but like, I'm a mom. We're neck deep in summer. Okay. I have a about to be 6-year-old and a 4-year-old, which my 4-year-old is super clingy. Like, on my way here, my husband's like, "Oh, she can't stop crying about you wanting you." And I'm like, why? I'm not even that great of a mom. Why does she cry so much about me and want me so much? Like, seriously.
She loves you. You're her safe space.
Yeah.
You know why? Because she's a pandemic baby.
Yeah, and she's been with me like the whole time. Yeah,
exactly.
She's been with me the whole time.
Been with you.
It's, dude, so overwhelming. It's like having to do everything all the time for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to motivate everyone to do stuff, to do just tasks like brushing teeth and letting me brush their hair and, taking baths. And, it's like always a struggle with trying to get them to do stuff and then them asking you for shit all the time. There was a TikTok
They're getting
that
almost there. They're getting almost there where they could be a little more independent. They can start doing
and
things for themselves a little.
I hang on to
you
that.
Just gotta teach them.
But this is a thing too. There's like that kind of like you're damned either way, because on the one hand you're like, oh, I have to cherish these moments. I had read some article that came up that was like, oh, your kid is your best friend up until they're about 10 years old. And then I'm like, which kind of makes you kind of sad, because you're like, I don't want to like lose the connection with my kid once they get a little older either. But it's like this, like back and forth. And then it's just like, oh, I just want to be alone for 1 hour. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it's like 24. I mean, look, as a parent, it's 24 fucking 7. But, you yearn for like moments of like quietness, right? Blocks of like time that you could just sit down and focus on something, but it's just not. It's not. So it's kind of like, oh my God, it's so frustrating. Uh this video kind of sums it up in a really good way. I don't know if Jesse, do you have that?
It's 1 p.m. and that's important. That is important information. Well, actually, it's 1:20 p.m. I have 3 children, 3 boys, ages 5, 3, and 1. And I continuously lose my shit internally. Sometimes it comes out. Sometimes. But I lose my shit right around 2 or 3 p.m. every day without fail. My husband works from home, but he does not lose his shit consistently. So what's going on? So I conducted a fun little experiment. I downloaded one of those little counter clicker apps on my phone where I could just push the screen and it ticks up one number. And I was just gonna hit it every time one of my children, granted, the 1-year-old isn't really speaking yet, but every time the 5-year-old or the 3-year-old made a request, anytime they asked me for anything. And I'm not talking about questions that don't really require much of me. I'm not talking about like, Mom, what color is the couch? Or what time is it? Or where are we going later? I'm talking about specific requests. Can I watch a show? Can I have a snack? Can I have some juice? Can I go outside? Can we go to the pool? Can you put my pants on? Can you wipe my butt? I took this screenshot 10 minutes ago. We're up to 86 individual requests, and I don't count repeats. So if my son asks me, can I have a snack? Mom, can I have a snack? Hey, Mom, can I have a snack? Yes, buddy, you can have a snack. Can I have a snack? No, that's 1. I'm counting that as 1. 86. They go to bed in 7 hours. I'm not even halfway through the day. Guarantee you, if I were to ask my husband how many requests he gets a day at work. He's a videographer, editor, cinematographer, etc. All that crap. It's in the single digits for sure.
Can I have a snack? Well, why is it there?
Proved my point. He's like, can I have a snack?
Can I have a snack? Why are you sitting there?
Naturally, the moms become the default parent. Like, I'm the default parent too.
Right.
Julian will be sitting next to his dad in the room, and he will leave that room and come to me to ask for something instead of just asking his dad that's right there.
Yeah. And I mean, look, even when you go, because there's a lot of talk too on the internet of weaponized incompetence, which is a term that's very new. And people are like, wow, never heard that before, but that very much contextualized the idea because it opens your eyes a little bit. But like, even putting that aside and saying like, father that's very involved, even then, like as a mom, just everything, it's just literally everything. And I have 2, and like, it's just the struggle between the like trying to cherish those moments, but like also like, can I get 1 fucking hour to myself where I don't have to get nobody anything? I don't have to do anything for anybody. And I could just, but it's not, it's like interrupted constantly. It's just insane.
Maybe you need to make like that happen. Be like, put your foot down and be like, say, I need 1 hour a day where no one interrupts me or I'm in my room.
I mean, look, we're hoping that like where we're going now, we're trying to get, preschool going to try to like,
it's just really hard for Sid to be away from you when she knows you're right there.
Right. And it's like,
you have to leave the house basically.
Yeah. I have to start like kind of weaning her off a little bit of like,
when she goes to preschool, maybe that will help. It's gonna be a big struggle for her.
Oh my God, it's gonna be a crazy struggle.
Because doesn't she want to go really bad? Like, because her sister's there. She's been saying.
Well, but that's the thing. They're not going to the same place, dude. Like, and I have to tell her that because she thinks she's going to the same place.
She's not going to go to preschool at the elementary school.
No, there is no preschool.
They don't do a
kindergarten.
Program.
Yeah, they start at kindergarten, the public school.
Some of them have, but it's just like a couple classrooms, and you gotta get it on a waiting list.
Right.
That's how it is at ours.
But it is really like this lady made me feel so seen. I was like, oh my God, for real. I'm sick of having to
I mean, you have
go back and forth.
And I get like questions all day, but not that bad. And it's like anytime he needs anything, it's me that no matter what I'm doing. I could be sitting working, like
Uh-huh.
working from home,
Mhm.
and still I'm the one that's
Yeah. No, like no. You and the thing is too like you have to remove yourself. You have to force yourself because as a
Yeah.
mom, you're like, you kind of feel like you have to, but like sometimes you have to use weaponized incompetence for yourself, bro. Like seriously.
So what have you been watching? Are
Have
we
you?
gonna
What
do a
about
little
you?
screen
You
time?
don't have anything this week? Any updates?
Dude, no work, same shit, bro. I work every day,
Work
and
all
I
day.
and
Watch TV at night. Work
yeah,
all day. I was like, at first, I was like, I don't really know. I don't know. But last night, me and my husband started watching. We watched 2 episodes of the Muscles and Mayhem American Gladiators documentary.
that okay. So it's a documentary about American gladiators.
Oh my God, yes. I was obsessed with this show when I was a kid. On Sunday nights, we would eat dinner and watch this show. This was
I
one of
loved
the
that shit too.
It was so good.
Yeah.
And then they're like monumental like
I just remember
challenges like that
watching it
one, the jousts.
on the weekend. On the weekend they had reruns, right, or something.
I mean, I think I remember Sundays at night, like at 7, while I had dinner with the family and stuff or whatever, while that winding down time. That was like one of the primetime TV shows. And it was like the first of its kind.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because, like, yeah, I remember some of the main gladiators.
Mhm.
And it's super interesting because it tells you about how the beginnings of it, how was this wild idea, and how like they were building these sets that were super like terrible that would like hurt these people.
My God, they were like
these
dangerous.
they were dangerous. They didn't have medical staff on the medical staff necessary to help people with like when injuries. It was a very physical show. I mean, this is like the birth
I just
of
remember the tennis ball gun.
the tennis ball gun. Yeah. I think it was the Eliminator or something like
I
that.
don't remember the names.
But this is
Okay.
a show that kind of set a precedent for like what is another show that's like the obstacle course ones? Like they have another one where it's like park
Ninja Warrior.
Ninja Warrior. They have a
Mhm.
bunch of these now. And this is kind of like one of the first ones that came out here in America, I guess.
There was that, and then there was the kid one, the temple.
Oh, yeah, no, Guts. Remember Guts?
Guts. Yeah, Double Dare.
Double Dare, Guts.
Like all those like
yeah,
challenge
you're
shows.
right. The physical challenge. Well, this was
For
like,
kids.
yeah, this was like, man, these
No, but
people,
this is like gladiators.
bro, the people
Big
on the show
dudes.
were like these
Yeah.
big, muscly,
Muscles and Mayhem.
Yeah,
American
exactly.
Gladiators. Doc Ruby Gilliman. I mean, look, says it right there.
You went a little further.
Oh,
This next one,
oh, what's Ruby Gilliman?
Ruby Gilman Teenage Kraken is a movie
What
that
is
we went to take our
that?
kids out to, and we went out with the neighbors and their kids too.
Uh,
It is so
I
friggin'
haven't even
cute.
seen this.
It's super adorable. It's visually very well done.
It's in theaters right now.
It's in theaters right now. Yeah, and we saw a couple of really good trailers too. Like there's a new Teenage
It
Mutant
says
Ninja Turtle
September
movie.
14th. I'm confused.
But I
Is
don't
that the
know.
future?
I don't know why it says September
Only in
14th.
cinemas. September, maybe until September 14th.
Oh, I don't know. Well, it's in cinemas now, and we went to watch it. It actually opened this yesterday. We went to go see it. It's pretty funny. They have like a little mermaid reference. Like they kind of
Uh-huh.
do a little mermaid ripoff. That's kind
funny.
of funny. Because she's like the villain at the end of the day. Like the mermaids are the villains in the story. But it's pretty fun. It was interesting and like really visually, I think it's for like a little bit older kids, but our kids were into it.
I love watching animated movies from DreamWorks and Disney, so I'm down for that.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
watch
really
that.
cute. They got a new Trolls one coming out and a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that
Oh,
Seth
I
Rogen
saw the
produced.
teenage. That one looks really.
It looks
good
really
too.
cool, and the animation
And I
for
still
it
have
looks
yet to
dope.
see the new Spider-Verse Into the Spider-Verse movie, which I heard was fantastic.
That looks cool. That looks like it's for older kids though, too, right?
Maybe.
No. Well, I would watch it. I don't know.
I've been watching a lot of docs too. This last one that I watched, I was thinking about it for days.
I gotta watch that because I saw a bunch of TikToks about it, and I got
The Curious
sucked into
Case
the
of
Natalia
Grace,
Grace.
bro.
Yes,
I was thinking about this shit for days, and sorry, I forgot to send pictures to to Uncle Jesse to be brought up. But this shit is bananas. I found it on. I saw first TikToks about it,
Oh my god, I went down a rabbit hole with those,
and I was like, "This is interesting." And so I went and I watched it on HBO, and this is the craziest thing that I've ever heard. So basically, this couple
the people Oh, go ahead.
adopt an orphan from Ukraine.
Mhm.
She was 6 years old when they adopted her. They claim that as soon as they adopted her, they had doubts that she was the age that she was supposed to be, saying all these outlandish things.
Right, that she was supposed to be what, like 28-year-old woman or something, like trying to portray a 6-year-old.
By the time they try to like re-age her, I think she's like 8 years old,
Mhm.
and they've already had her a couple of years.
They had her living in her own apartment.
Yeah, he found a picture. So this poor little girl at the age of 8, they managed to re-age her through the court system. 18. Well, they said okay, she came through at 4 years old, and she hasn't grown since then. Since she hasn't gotten any taller since she came.
But you
in,
can tell she has dwarfism or something. Like, well, these people are.
She does have dwarfism, but like they assumed that she was already a full-grown person pretending to be younger than she was.
Those people.
So they're like, because she hasn't grown, that proves that she's fully grown already, because she should be at least growing if she's a child.
Not if you have dwarfism.
And they supposedly, I know.
And
I know,
but
it's absurd.
I know. And what
They-
the doctors did they not take the girl to doctors?
They did, and somehow they got
some shady
evidence enough
doctors
to get the judge to agree.
Those people
To be like, okay, she came in at 4 and she was an adult. Then let's just say she was 18 when she came in. So they're like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. She's 22 years old to an 8-year-old.
Yeah, and then they made her
And
live on her own.
They're
in
like,
an
okay,
apartment.
she's an adult. She can have her own apartment.
Bro,
they
that
get her an
shit is
apartment and they
bonkers.
leave her an apartment to live there by herself.
And
As
then
an
some
8-year-old
lady
child.
befriends her and goes like, "How is this little girl living on her own?" Right?
Yes. Well, she gets first, like they make it really creepy. They're like everybody in the first community just was afraid of her, was like thought it was weird, and it was really, really sad. And then they moved her to a poorer community because they thought that there no one would pay attention to her. And instead, a couple took her in and basically tried to adopt her and like helped her because she's a child trying to live alone.
Oh my gosh.
so
You
so
finished it?
sad.
You finished the documentary?
I did. It's only 6 episodes.
And then
I
so
think.
the people who adopted her
got away with
obviously
it.
are fucking crazy, right?
They're bananas, bro. The only one that you see that's interviewed in the documentary is the adopted father, and he is such a tool. Oh my god, he's so obviously lying. I can tell it's like overacted and rehearsed, and like it's so frustrating. So frustrating. They said that people were comparing it to the movie Orphan. I've never seen that. Have you seen the movie
no,
Orphan?
I've never seen that either. No.
They're like, oh, they took the premise of the movie Orphan and they used that to like get rid of this little girl that they, I guess, regretted
That's
adopting.
awful.
It's worth it. It's a great movie. You should check it out.
Orphans, good movie. Okay.
Is it
Yeah.
a similar premise? It's a child that's an adult? I don't understand.
It's a horror movie, but yes.
Okay. Yeah, because they kept saying, oh, she was trying to murder them. Like she was trying to kill them and the other and her siblings because they had 3 kids. They had 3 sons. And the mother was abusive and she had her kids be abusive to her. And like, it's just
what was their
really
point for
crazy.
adopting her then if they were just
I don't know. But this poor girl, I hope she gets what's
that's
like,
terrible.
I don't know.
At least she's with people who will love her and take care of her now.
I hope so, because they also made it seem like they're also they maybe love and take care of her, but they also like took advantage of her benefits. But I'm like, if they're taking care of her, they're not taking advantage of her benefits. They're using her benefits
to take
care of her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The parent was like trying to make it seem
the adopted
parents,
parent?
yeah, like, oh, they found out
Of
she has a food stamp
course.
card and they used it and they took over her social security benefits. They had her sign it over to them. And
listen, those people
they try to
committed an
villainize
atrocious
and
right.
instead they're giving her a family that she never had.
Oh my gosh.
It's a crazy series. You should check it out. And she has a TikTok now. I was after I watched it and I was scrolling, all of a sudden I saw her on my For You
I mean, she
page.
might as well
And I was
capitalize
like,
of all of
oh
it,
my gosh.
off of all of it, and try to
Yeah.
like, I don't know, build some kind of future for herself. Because at this
those
point,
people need to go to jail though for what they did
yeah,
to
that
her.
shit is nuts.
They goes through the trial. The father was put on trial for child neglect. And I don't want to give away what
Right,
happens if
right.
you watch it, but
Yeah.
check it out. It's crazy. And then the other crazy documentary I watched was Shiny Happy People, which is about the cult-like religion organization that the Duggars are part of. The 19 kids and
Oh my
counting Duggar
God,
family.
I can't stand those people.
I never watched that stuff.
So weird.
I always thought it was so strange, and this docuseries is way more eye-opening and even crazier when you realize like the organization that they're part of, like the church that they're part of, and the agenda that they talk about. Have you seen the other series of The Family that talks about the different that's part of the government? Yeah, this is Shiny Happy People. They basically covered all their. So the reason it's called Shiny Happy People is because that's how they're portrayed on TV.
Right.
But it's way more sinister and dark than that. So that was a really interesting docuseries to watch as well. I never saw the series, but it was.
I mean, I had seen a little bit of it, but it was like so fucking weird.
Well, they portray them as this happy family and everything's
right,
great,
but
it was not.
But you could
it's
see
not.
that it was not a normal. Why would cameras be in? Like, I don't know. They did not seem normal to me at all.
And you guys need to finish Silo. You guys need to get on Silo if you haven't watched it. I finally got Johnny to watch it, and he binged it all in a day and a night. The whole season. One season. So watch Silo. If you haven't watched Silo yet, watch it.
I did a deep dive on Greatest Showman because I like some of the music from Greatest Showman and shit. The Hugh Jackman movie. The lady in Silo, she is the lady that sings one of my favorite.
I haven't
songs.
seen
One
that
of the
movie.
one of the great
well,
songs.
we watched the finale of Silo on Discord. We did our first successful stream through Discord.
Yeah, on the machine.
Yeah,
and how
it went great.
Yeah,
but we need like up our server if you want higher HD quality.
Oh, like through Discord, right?
Yeah.
So what you did the Discord through your browser?
We all got into the voice channel TV talk that we have on Discord, and then I just streamed it from my computer and I shared it in there, and we all watched it together.
Oh,
it was fun.
And everybody had a good experience. Everybody was able to see it at the same time. It worked out pretty good.
It worked out perfect.
All
no
right.
echo, because usually there's an echo when we're all trying to sync up, like watching at the same time. And so we got to watch the finale of Silo, and we're all like blown away. We were not expecting what happened to happen, and it happened. And then afterwards we were even analyzing it, and we are like going back and looking at scenes and like slowing it down and like,
discussing.
do you see it like this, because I don't want to give anything away if you guys decide to watch it, but check it out.
Cool beans. Well, if you would like to get in on watching TV shows together and smoking weed, please go over to our Patreon and join the Discord. If not, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to our YouTube channel, because sometimes we go live there, so you could talk to us. You could be part of the show. So subscribe on YouTube to be a part of the show and all that stuff.
If you can't contribute to the show and be a Patreon, that's cool. Just share it, rate, review. Do especially a review on Apple Podcasts if you haven't done that already. We're trying to get those up. It's been a minute since we've gotten one on there. So if you haven't given us one before, do us a solid. Do us an Apple review if you listen to us there. Thank you very much.
We love
Hit us up. We'll send you a sticker.
Yeah, let us know. We'll send you something. I'll send you a lock of my hair.
God.
but before
Creepy.
hey, if that's what you're into.
I wouldn't give anybody a lock of my hair. That's like that's too much power you're handing over.
Yeah, okay. Hey, here's a segment we all love.
News Nugs,
where we get high and read the news to you. And just to clarify, we don't keep our weed so close to like the kids' things on the table.
What? What are you talking about? Because of the intro?
Yeah.
Oh.
Disclaimer.
Zelensky pushes medical cannabis legalization to aid Ukrainians suffering trauma of war. Huh. I think this is a good move.
Yeah, you know what? And this is pretty on par with our recent interview with Yarema.
Yeah, and he was excited to see these comments coming
Yeah.
out. Ukrainian President, oh my God, Volodymyr. Did I say that
Oh
right?
yeah, that sounds
Volodymyr
great.
Zelensky on Wednesday. I always slaughter people's names. Called on lawmakers to legalize medical cannabis, saying the treatment could provide relief to those in the country suffering from the trauma of war. Zelensky made the comments in an address before his country's parliament. We must finally fairly legalize cannabis based medicines for all those who need them, with appropriate scientific research and controlled Ukrainian production, Zelensky said, as quoted by UPI. All the world's best practices, all the most effective policies, all the solutions, no matter how difficult or unusual they may seem to us, must be applied to Ukraine so that Ukrainians, all our citizens, do not have to endure the pain, stress, and trauma of war, he added, according to the news organization. Everyone's going to qualify for PTSD.
Oh boy, yeah.
Cannabis.
Russia invaded and subsequently occupied parts of Ukraine last year, marking a bloody and costly escalation of the hostilities between the two countries. In April, Reuters, citing a trove of purported U.S. intelligence documents that have been published online, estimated that as many as 354,000 Russian and Ukrainian soldiers have been killed or injured in the Ukraine war. As UPI noted, Zelensky's support for medical cannabis legalization also remains consistent as evidenced in 2019 during his presidential campaign when he said it would be normal to allow people to access cannabis droplets. I don't understand what the droplets mean. Zelensky's comments on Wednesday also echo what his cabinet has recently said.
Earlier this month, Ukraine's health minister, Viktor Lyashko, said in a Facebook post that the government had put forward legislation to legalize medical cannabis treatment. In the post, Lyashko invoked the ongoing war with Russia as a reason to make the treatment available. We understand the negative consequences of the war on the mental health camp, Lyashko wrote in the Facebook post. We understand the number of people who will require medical treatment in the last breath. Cannabis drugs are not competitors to drugs, and measures to regulate their circulation are completely different. Medical cannabis contains cannabinoid, which has no pronounced psychoactive effect, and it's not suitable for recreational use, Liashko continued. To that, at the same time, we are prepared by the legislator for the preparation of a new cycle of production of preparations based on cannabis in Ukraine. Those are a lot of words.
They might have like directly
From the development of that processing to full production, like the translation.
Yeah, they might have directly translated that. In the first month of Russia's invasion last year, a number of cannabis companies in the United States stepped up to provide financial support to Ukraine. MediThrive CEO Misha Brayberg donated proceeds from weed sales to a charity providing aid to Ukrainians. Brayberg also had the MediThrive dispensary in San Francisco Mission District painted in the blue and yellow colors of the Ukrainian flag.
There's more cannabis companies that got involved, apparently.
The Russian invasion of Ukraine hits home for the founders of MediThrive. CEO Misha Brayberg and his colleagues are Ukrainian Jewish refugees who immigrated from Odessa, Ukraine to the United States as children in the 70s. The company said in a statement at the time. MediThrive believes that everyone should have access to medicine and quality healthcare. The Medi in our name tells of our humble beginning as a medical cannabis dispensary that filled the cannabis prescriptions of cancer and AIDS patients. In the 1990s, the dispensary opened its doors to patients under the United States Compassionate Care Act. We are the oldest cannabis dispensary and delivery service location in San Francisco. Today, we are more than just a medical and recreational cannabis provider. Our roots run deep in our community.
Wow.
Oh, cool. So
So they also gave to Ukraine.
yes.
That's great.
And we also like to tell you guys, check out our interview with Yarema. He also does some work where proceeds of the profits made from his cannabis line in California go to some of the war in Ukraine, some of these
Mhm.
charities.
This next story is going to be fun if we actually do end up in Vegas this year. So, Nevada issues first cannabis consumption lounge licenses. Visitors to Las Vegas will soon have places to legally smoke weed as Nevada regulators have issued the state's first 3 conditional licenses for cannabis consumption lounges. The Nevada Cannabis Control Board, CCB, issued 2 licenses for businesses in the Las Vegas Valley, while the remaining permit was issued for a lounge to be located in Washoe County in the northwestern corner of Nevada. Before they can invite guests in to light up, the 3 Nevada businesses must first receive local approval and undergo a final inspection by board agents with the CCB. Damn, so there's still like
They got a lot of hoops.
there's
to
more
jump.
hoops.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're not. It's a conditional
right.
license.
They're gonna be like, "Hey guys,"
Not even like a license.
they're
A
gonna say like,
conditional
"Ready,
license.
set, go." Like,
But with their conditional licenses in hand, after approval by the board at a meeting on June 20th, the lounges can finish planning and constructing their sites and prepare for opening. Receiving this confirmation from the state allows us to move on to the final design and build out of our consumption lounge, said Larry Scheffler, co-CEO of Planet 13, a dispensary complex near the Las Vegas Strip that received one of 2 licenses issued in Clark County. The consumption lounge will be a huge step to unlocking the full potential of the superstore as a cannabis destination.
this place is giant. It's like a huge.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah,
I didn't go to it.
I seen pictures. I have friends that went there and they
it's
show me
humongous.
pictures.
It's like a
and
whole
it's
attraction.
Yeah, it's a whole attraction.
Yeah. It will give customers the ability to try products prior to buying, watch live entertainment, and enjoy food and drink in a social setting that matches Planet 13's incredible experimental design standard.
It's giving me Incredible Universe vibes. Do you remember that place, Incredible Universe?
No.
Okay, it was back in the, I don't know, ice ages. There was a huge like warehouse store that was just like electronics, and they had like a stage in the middle where they had like, it was like a whole thing.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was very like, kitschy and touristy, but it was very
here?
yeah, it was short. I was not around for that long. Planet 13 Vice President of Sales and Marketing, David Ferris, said that the company is still in the planning and construction phase for its lounge. The company had originally considered a restaurant concept for its lounge, but at the CCB meeting, Planet 13 General Counsel Leighton Kohler told the board that the company is considering a range of ideas from a modest tasting room to a more expansive nightclub experience. It's a strict business. Pencil out the math decision we're looking at and trying to decide how much it costs to implement, Kohler said during the meeting. Representatives of the vertically integrated cannabis firm said that they plan to submit their plans to Clark County in the coming weeks for a review by county officials that could take several months. Neither Planet 13 nor Thrive Cannabis Marketplace, the second business to receive a cannabis consumption lounge in Clark County, have set an expected opening date. Thrive hopes to open its lounge on Sammy Davis Jr. Boulevard in time for the MJ BizCon Cannabis Industry Trade Show in late November.
Oh, yeah. So this would be after.
High
we would be
hopes. We've
maybe-
got high hopes.
So Chris Laporte.
We've got high in the sky apple pie hopes.
Chris Laporte, managing partner of Reset, a cannabis consultant firm representing Thrive, said the company's approximately 3,000 square foot lounge venue, Smoke and Mirrors, would be a place for canna-curious tourists to be introduced to different marijuana products without visiting a dispensary. It's just a vibe,
Oh, God.
Laporte said. It's like any other Las Vegas nightlife hospitality, but instead of a liquor bar, it's cannabis as social lubricant.
Social lubricant.
I mean, that's what we want, right? I want to go somewhere instead of it being a bar,
right?
smoke
Yeah,
weed.
you smoke different weed or try different
That's what I'm
types
looking
of ways
for.
of doing it. Yeah. Oh, they're doing it in the cup now,
Yeah,
They
I've
like
seen
serve
that.
the smoke in a cup. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
That's just,
I
to
just
me
give me.
says-
Let me just smoke my J.
yeah, it feels very much like secondhand smoking. Oh, I'm gonna enjoy the secondhand smoke. Drink it.
Edward Alexander, the owner of Soul Cannabis in Washoe County, said that he envisioned his business as a gathering site for the community, but many patrons had questioned why they were not allowed to consume the products they had just purchased at the dispensary. You can't bring your own, basically.
Buy it and get out of here.
You gotta buy it here. Every weekend during the summer, we do music at our facility, Alexander said during Tuesday's CCB meeting, as quoted by the Las Vegas Review Journal. And every weekend, the old grouchy tattooed hippie is out there saying, I don't know you're at Disneyland, but you can't ride the rides.
I know you're at
What?
Disneyland,
I
but
know.
you can't ride the rides. Like you can buy all the weed everywhere around you, but you can't ride the rides. You can't smoke it anywhere you want to.
Oh, okay. I know you're at Disneyland, but you
Yeah.
can't ride the rides. Got it.
The hippies guys dropping some wisdom, man. I want to go bring it back.
You wanted to read it?
I know you're at Disneyland, but you can't ride the rides. I don't know. That guy sounds like a really crazy hippie.
It says the old grouchy tattooed hippie.
I know. And it's June 20 at its June 20 meeting, the CCB also mentioned the air quality regulations for cannabis consumption lounges by reducing the required number of air exchanges per hour in smoking areas from 30 to 20 exchanges per hour and from 20 to 6
Huh?
exchanges per hour in non-smoking areas. I hope you guys are writing notes.
I don't
I
understand
don't know.
what
I don't
that
know. Yeah, I don't know
means.
what that fucking means. Something that has to be something in regards to
30
the
to 20
air
exchanges per
quality.
hour.
Like the air quality, the circulation with
Okay,
if they're I
okay.
guess letting people smoke indoors.
Well, like they let people smoke cigarettes indoors in the casinos all the time.
it's gross.
It's gross. Why
See,
can't
so
like
maybe they have to figure
there's
out
a like way
what
there's a
that
filtration system
air
that's
filtration
required.
system, right? The change will allow for greater flexibility in air ventilation requirements for cannabis consumption lounges, further reducing barriers of entry for all potential licensees, including social equity applicants, according to the board. Officials made the change after applicants for the lounge licenses said that building an air conditioning system to meet the stricter requirements is too expensive. If you're moving air every minute or 2 minutes, it's a massive power consumption challenge.
Yeah, it's a lot of power.
Late last year, the CCB conducted a digital drawing to select 40 businesses for prospective cannabis consumption lounge licenses via a random number selector to determine the issuance of independent cannabis consumption lounge licenses for non-social equity applicants and social equity applicants, according to a statement from the agency. Prospective license holders must submit all required documents for a sustainability investigation by CCB board agents in order to receive a conditional license.
So they're still just conditional. Like, is this ever going to happen? Maybe by the end of the year, it seems like. So it doesn't, now, like, we were considering Vegas at the end of September.
No.
No, I mean, if we go there, there's just not going to be consumption lounges.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is that if you have your own hotel room and if they, as long as they allow smoking, I guess, like, why not?
I believe
or
that
if you're
there's
on your balcony of your own hotel or place that you're renting.
I believe actually there was recent news that a hotel in Vegas is like a smoker, like a
Yeah, they were gonna let people smoke in the
they have a
rooms.
like a certain I don't know floors or something that are like THC
Yeah.
friendly, like cannabis friendly.
And then people were like, "Oh, are they really allowed to do that without having a consumption lounge license, like a consumption license?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Well, if it's your room,
Right, it's private.
it's not like they're doing it in the bar in the hotel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the whole point of
Or
like
by
a
the
consumption
pool.
lounge is like doing it in a social environment.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I looking forward to that. I know baby steps, and it's always seems like they're always fighting for silly stuff. I mean, everything is gonna have when it's going through the government, it's gonna be regulated. Like you're gonna have to jump through a ton of hoops, get licenses, and then to determine, like is it worth it? Like, what are we? What is the at the end of the day? What are they doing? It has to also be a dispensary. You can't just be a consumption lounge. You have to sell something to make money.
Well, they could sell food and drinks and stuff, and you could smoke your own weed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can't they do like an outdoor space? I mean, I don't
Like,
know.
can't
why
you just
they would.
allow cannabis
Yeah.
consumption there and be like, this area, like, just people know so they don't bring kids there, if they don't want,
Right.
this area is for 21 and older. People will be consuming cannabis openly, blah, blah, blah.
Well,
They don't have to sell it. They can sell food. You're going to get the munchies. People are going to want to sit around, drink, eat, and smoke.
yeah. What are the stipulations around like infused foods too?
That too, because
Like,
that's
if you
that's
sell
getting
that-
tricky because dosages on that, and then everybody's different. Some people need very little before they're like wrecked.
Yeah.
Well, our next segment is
I love you, Miami!
I was trying to read the article and my brain was like, wait a minute, are we in the segment already? No, now is the
this
segment.
week's story is not as fun as the snails, but we'll
Yeah.
So, Florida AG files challenge to cannabis legalization initiative.
This bitch is shooting it down.
So, last time we did talk about this measure, there was a mention that she was saying that she was going to be writing something opposing it. Well, here it is.
Ashley Moody, que nombre.
Florida, no, she's a moody bitch.
I know. I'm like, it's very on brand for Attorney General here.
Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody on Monday filed a challenge to a proposed ballot measure to legalize recreational marijuana with the state Supreme Court, arguing that the initiative should not appear before voters in next year's general election. If successful, the proposed amended initiative from the group Smart and Safe Florida would legalize cannabis for all adults aged 21 and up. In a legal opinion filed with the Supreme Court on Monday, Moody, a Republican who has been the state's attorney general since 2019, argued that the proposed marijuana legalization ballot measure is misleading to the voters. In the brief, she notes that according to the ballot summary, the proposed initiative would permit adults 21 years or older possess, purchase, or use products of marijuana accessories for non-medical consumption. And she says that is incorrect and misleading because marijuana remains illegal under federal law, she wrote in the state's brief. Well, duh. A lot of other states.
I don't understand
her argument here.
Yeah, I don't understand how.
She's just saying, oh, it's not really legal because there's still going to be federal criminals, is what she's saying.
She's just
She's
looking.
just reaching, bro. I
She
feel like
really
she is
is.
reaching. And previously approving similarly worded ballot summaries, the court erred. Marijuana is independently prohibited by federal law, the brief notes, as cited by the Orlando Sentinel. Indeed, every individual who possesses marijuana under the scheme provided by the proposed amendment would become a federal criminal.
Oh my
criminal.
God. Fucking.
The ballot summary notes that the initiative does not change federal law, but that the language is inadequate to resolve the confusion, Moody wrote in the brief. To qualify for the ballot, the proposal must first be approved by the Supreme Court and receive nearly 900,000 verified signatures from registered voters. If the initiative survives the challenge by Moody, it must receive at least 60% of the vote in 2024 general election to become law.
Dude, it's giving petty.
It is giving super
It's
petty because
getting
it's like,
so
no
petty.
shit. That's like you're getting like, that's how it is in every other recreational state.
right,
It's
like-
recreationally legal there, but technically it's still federally
She
legal.
mad.
She dumb.
She mad. Medical marijuana legalized in 2016. In 2016, the Florida Supreme Court approved the medical marijuana legalization ballot measure that went on to garner 71% of the vote at the polls in that year's election. But in her legal brief, Moody wrote that voters need clear guidance before being asked to lift state law penalties for the possession of a substance that would subject users to devastating criminal liability under
the
federal law.
because the feds are going to come for you.
The
come
rampant
on.
misinformation in the press and being peddled by the sponsor of this initiative about its effects makes clarity all the more pivotal.
Oh my goodness.
In a 5-2 decision in 2021, the Florida Supreme Court rejected a proposed recreational marijuana initiative that was challenged by Moody. Same year, the court also rejected a second adult use cannabis ballot proposal in a desperate decision.
Separate decision.
In a separate decision. Desperate. Sorry. Campaign responds to challenges. After Moody filed the brief challenging the proposal, Smart and Safe spokesman Steve Vancourt said the campaign does not agree with Moody's assessment of the ballot measure. Yeah, they wiped their ass with it. They're like, we
Yeah,
put
of
a lot of
course.
money into this bitch. You better simmer down. I'm sorry, that's not exactly what he said. He said, we believe the language as written clearly complies with requirements of the Constitution. We look forward to bringing this matter to the Florida Supreme Court and are confident that the court will conclude that there are no lawful basis to set aside the ballot initiative. Bancor said in a public statement, this important issue should be entrusted to the citizens of Florida, over 1 million of whom have already signed the Smart and Safe Florida petition, saying they supported to decide for themselves through democratic choice. I smile throughout this because I'm like, on the one hand, this dumbass is trying to fucking, like state something that's like bullshit. Like she's
Yeah.
trying to go for
She's
juggling
reaching
for
to
like
try to
she's
stop
reaching,
it.
right? But on the other hand, like we know Trulieve's
We need-
intentions with
yeah.
this, with making it recreational, but only in the way that benefits them. So it's like, this is so funny. It's like,
The politics all around it.
yeah,
is
you're just,
ridiculous.
I don't know. I'm just like sitting here eating
That's the
popcorn,
popcorn, is it? What's coming next?
What's coming next?
I think it's gonna make it to the ballot, honestly.
I really do think it's gonna make it to the ballot. Daniel Russell, an attorney specializing in cannabis law, accused Moody of politicizing the issue.
Politicizing right there.
This document is more Fox News fear-mongering intended to produce goodwill from the base than a legal document filed by Florida's chief legal officer on behalf of the state's 22 million residents, Russell told the News Service of Florida in an email. It reeks of conservative nonsense and Nixonian views on a substance that is legalized for recreational use in 23 states, 3 U.S. territories, and the District of Columbia. I believe that the Supreme Court of Florida will see this for what it is and allow voters to decide what the next steps for Florida's future.
So as we've talked about before, we should probably, do we even have to go through this?
We don't even have to
Yeah.
go to the Smart and Safe.
We already know what it brings.
Yeah,
It brings nothing but legal to the existing market.
Right. It turns the
doesn't-
medical to rec, and all the people who are already in the game continue to be in the game, and it doesn't really make any stipulations for being able to grow your own,
Homegrowns.
or for I always forget.
Homegrown social equity
No,
programs.
social equity programs. That's the one I always forget. Right. So they're missing those key items of home grow and social equity.
And more licenses to open the market.
Yeah. So it's just, I mean, and a lot of people will argue, we got to get rid of vertical integration.
Yeah.
I agree too. I think that the whole process is stupid. I was trying to explain it to my husband. Like, people have to grow for one company. Like, it's not like a grower can just grow and have their product in different dispensaries. Like, it's just really, the dispensaries have to do everything from beginning to end, and it's just like, whatever. It's a shitty program, and they should
We
gut
could do
that,
better.
and we could do better. But we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
I'm having.
So we're at the high checkpoint.
I gotta say this.
High checkpoint.
High checkpoint.
What are we doing?
High checkpoint. This shit, man, gives me a lot of cotton mouth.
I've had
Sorry.
my beginning dry mouth too. I've been taking lots of sips.
Yeah, we've been sipping on water or hydrating over here, but that shit's.
I'd say the long-term effects are good. I give it a 4.5.
I will give mine a 4.5 as well. Don't like so much dry cotton mouth, but whatever.
No, but it happens.
Yeah, it happens.
I do want another
Hey,
bowl.
while she gets that bowl ready, we got a wonderful interview for you. If you have another bowl you want to pack, go ahead, do it. This is the time. We interview the Dank Girl herself, Chelsea Green. She's a founder and CEO of Dank Girls Retreats, born and raised in Michigan. She's a 29-year-old mother of 3 toddlers, a foodie, adventurer, and cannabis enthusiast.
Imagine how many requests she gets if she has 3 toddlers. They're all toddlers too.
Yeah. When she said that, I was like, damn, girl, I feel you. We had talked to her. She was in her car because what other time will we have? We got to just sit in our little booth and lock ourselves away from our, from our fans, our children. But we had a wonderful conversation with her. She does retreats. We'd love to get on board. And we want you to check her retreats out and listen to this interview. Here it is.
Well, Chelsea, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today about Dank Girls. I came across you on TikTok and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is kind of like what we do with the pot smoking moms. We have like a community of moms and we do a similar thing where we do vacations together and stuff like that. So when I saw your TikTok, I was like, oh, we got to have her on the show and talk about it so we can let our moms and listeners out in Michigan know all about you.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. And thank you guys so much for reaching out. I mean, to begin with, because I was like, this is so awesome. I told my admin team that helps me run my stuff on Facebook. I was like, you guys, the pot smoking moms just reached out to me and want me to be on their podcast.
Well, yeah, maybe we could go out there and enjoy one of the retreats.
Yeah,
so
I would love that. That would be awesome.
That would be lots of fun.
We know some of our moms would definitely be down to meet us up out wherever.
Yes, and that's basically where I'm at with Dank Girls. Anywhere I go, they come. And I love it. The community around Dank Girls is just amazing.
So tell us all about Dank Girls and how it came to be.
Okay, so to be honest with you guys, back in 2018, it was right after I had my second son. I actually was going through like very, very bad postpartum depression. Like it was so bad. My mom was calling me every day just to be like, are you alive? So after I was going through that, I had been a part of some like other cannabis groups just on Facebook, and I liked them, but I was like, like I could totally do this. I could make my own group and just kind of have my own space and my own rules. And that was like the main thing to me. I wanted my own rules because I didn't like the rules of the other groups. So I created Dank Girls and it just started growing so fast. And I was not expecting that at all. And then after I created the group, I created the Facebook page. And once I created that, 4 years ago, shot up immediately to 15,000 followers. And 4 years ago, that was like, wow, that's like crazy. So it just kind of started becoming not only my safe space, but several thousands of others' safe space. And I kept it running. And once it started to continue to grow, I just started reaching out to companies like, hey, I have this page in this group. I would love to promote your products and do like live reviews on them. And that's kind of where Dank Girls started for me, is doing all of that and just doing the reviews and creating the group. I had no intentions on it becoming a business at all. It kind of just fell into my lap, and I started hosting the retreats. And it's really been up from there with the community, the retreats, the events, and all of that fun stuff.
Now, how many retreats have you hosted so far, and what locations have you done them at?
So I've been hosting since 2021. I want to say between 6 and 10. I don't know the exact number, but between 6 and 10 I've hosted so far. We are Michigan based, so I've mainly hosted in Michigan, but I've also been to California, Ohio, Oregon, and Virginia.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're just like hitting up the legal states and trying to organize meetups and like little retreats there.
Yes, exactly. And they're such an amazing time, the retreats. They're great. And it's the amount of women that come from all over the place to attend. And people will be like, I'm so nervous. I really want to book this trip, but I'm so nervous to go somewhere where I've never met anybody. And I tell them, just book the damn trip, because you are going to have the best time and you're going to leave with lifelong sisters, like not even friends, because I feel like Dank Girls is such a sisterhood. The way we come together and are there for one another, like just book the trip, because you're going to love it and you're going to have a great time.
Yeah, we've had actually, and I'm sure you've also experienced this, we've had moms who have have met up with us and been like, this is kind of out of my comfort zone. And we've been like, dude, this is the perfect thing to do out of your comfort zone because the people here are going to embrace you and you're going to have a good time, period.
And they're going to pull you out of that comfort zone. And you're shortly going to realize these are my people.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you guys like? Do you talk about where you're gonna where everybody wants to go, or do you kind of scope out a place beforehand and then say, "Hey, we're gonna go out here"?
So I actually do it all myself for the most part. I find the places we're gonna go. Normally, I do like Airbnbs, or I'm a part of like some cannabis community like business groups. So I'll like reach out to them, like, "Hey, does anybody know of a location?" So basically, I get everything set up. I do everything for everybody. The only thing that they are responsible for is the travel and to get there. So nobody comes up with it. They just basically get their spot and are responsible for the travel.
So they pay like a reservation fee for their spot and then their travel.
Yes, correct. So typically all of my retreats are different prices depending on where they're at, what's included, the houses and all of that. And they'll pay an initial $200 non-refundable deposit, and that secures your spot. And then they have an entire year pretty much, because I do like to release my retreats within just about a year in advance because they do sell out very fast. So I give them that whole time to pay me. I'm like, if you need payment plans, and it works out better that way because some people can't afford to just spend hundreds of dollars right up front.
Of course.
So that's how it works.
And so how many women tend to be on these retreats, and like what kind of things can you expect being out like at your retreat? Like what activities and things are there?
Yeah, so typically we have our smallest retreat, we had 14 ladies. Our largest, we had 37.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really it's different. And like I said previously, it depends on the housing. So whatever house I get, how many beds, and if people are coming with a friend, typically they'll share like a king size bed, and it works out better that way. Some things that you can expect to experience, to be honest with you guys, our retreats are so just meant for like relaxing and chilling and being yourself and being surrounded around other people who enjoy cannabis. We do play games. We do have prizes. Let's see. We've gone to like museums. At our annual retreat, they have like an animal type museum. So like we've gone to do that. We've done tubing and like kayak trips on retreats.
That's what I'm talking about. Outdoor nature stuff.
Yeah. So they're super fun. But other than that, it's like pretty much everything at the retreat you don't want to leave. You don't want to go outside of there. We have a full dab bar, a weed bar, edibles, and that's for the whole weekend. It's out for all of the attendees to help themselves to during the entire stay. I hire a chef, to cater all of our food. So really the retreat itself is just, we want you to be as relaxed and comfortable with smoking weed around other people.
It's kind of like an all-inclusive retreat, right? You said there's going to be a chef with food. There's going to be weed for you. There's going to be edibles for you. It's like
so good.
A weed all-inclusive instead of a drinking all-inclusive, which is right up my alley.
Yeah, for real.
Yes, that's basically literally we are all-inclusive aside from the travel. I provide everything but the travel.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's really nice. It's fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of work to plan, but that sounds like a lot of fun as well. And so you do all this on your own? Do you have a team of people
on my own? I don't have employees. I don't have I'm not going to say I don't have help at all. I do have an admin team behind me that helps me run like the Facebook aspect of things, but when it comes to like the event planning and the retreats and everything, it's just me for the most part. I just brought somebody on within these last 2 months to kind of help me get things situated, and that's been a tremendous help and less stressful for me, but for the most part it's just me.
So what's your next retreat? Do you already have that one announced and on sale or anything?
So all of our 2023 retreats are sold out, have been sold out since last year.
Wow.
We have a retreat next month, which is our annual retreat where it all started in Little Wolf Lake, which is in Lewiston, Michigan. And that is next month. And then we have one more retreat this year, which will be in September, which is actually also at our annual Lewiston spot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, do you already kind of have an idea of what's going to be in works for 2024?
I have a few states. Arizona is at the top of our list. Colorado is another one. New York is one of my highest recommended.
There's so many
We
people
have
out
an
there.
audience in New York, and
Yeah.
we've been talking about trying to make a trip out there. So if you do a New York
Yes.
trip, we may be down for that one.
That would be amazing because it's seriously one of my most recommended. Like, please have a retreat in New York.
And
so those are...
Like the nature upstate New York is nice too. So like if you wanted to do
Yes.
like a camp thing.
Yeah, for sure. My best friend, she lives in Buffalo.
Adult camp.
Yeah. It's nice.
So she lives in Buffalo. She's familiar
Yeah.
with all those great areas.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
brother that lives out in Albany, so I have seen
Oh, okay.
it's pretty nice upstate.
Nice.
When did you start smoking? Like, when did you start picking up weed?
I was 15, actually. I was the kid who was like, I never got in like trouble. I had a smart mouth, but I never got in trouble. I never tried to push boundaries. I never really tried to do anything. So also when I did start, I was like very open. Like I told my parents like, hey,
Wow, that's ballsy.
What did
like-
they say?
I mean, so I didn't straight just tell them.
Mm-hmm.
I came home one day and I was sitting on the couch and I had like the giggles so bad. And it was winter. It was winter time. I remember this. I walked inside my house with my snow boots, my winter jacket, and went straight to the fridge. And and I sat down on the couch and I hear my dad say, honey, I think your daughter is stoned. And I just like looked around like, oh shit. And then I was like, well, I am. Sorry, there's a car alarm going off right now. Of course. The car directly next to me.
Right next to you, too. No?
Oh my goodness. But yes, so that's kind of like how my parents found out. And I just, from there, I was like, yeah, like I smoke. I'm responsible with it though. It's not something I did every day. I wasn't like a huge stoner when I was a teenager. It didn't really start for me, honestly, until Dank Girls. Like I smoked weed a lot, but I never smoked as heavy as I did like with doing all of this, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, obviously, like this is a whole new world. I think for us too. I think we were smoking like socially, and then we kind of got
Yes.
into smoking during the week. But then here, it's like, you know, we gotta test stuff out for the audience. You know, we gotta.
We gotta push our limits.
You know, I already smoked a lot before we did the podcast, but I feel like I definitely increased once we started the podcast. And it's also just because I became a patient and I just had more things available to me to try and like more options.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like more consumption, you know, happened.
Also, being a parent is very stressful,
Yeah, so fucking
and
stressful.
I feel like this is
And
that's
you have
also
3 toddlers?
I have 3 boys. They are ages 3, 4, and 5.
Oh my God, you beat me, bitch! Listen.
She's going.
I have two. I have 2 girls. I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. I couldn't imagine throwing one more into the mix. So
And
hats off
boys,
to you.
and boys too.
They keep me on my toes. And we just got not 1, but 2 new puppies.
Oh man,
And they are also boys.
girl,
So
what do
I'm
you?
just completely outnumbered at this point.
Completely.
But, you know, it's really stressful, especially trying to balance like this and being a mom too, because all of my work is done from home. Dank Girls is like my full-time gig. It's what I do.
Right.
I mean, my fiance honestly was a stay-at-home dad for the last like 2 years. And it's hard trying to balance that, especially like I said, when everything I do is from home, except for when I leave for an event or a trip, which obviously my kids don't attend those.
Right.
So
Same.
it can be stressful because you try to get stuff done and then you're just like, okay, well, I also have to take care of them and I have to do this. And then, oh my God, what are they doing? This one just hit this one. And now they're, it's,
Yeah, interruptions
Multiple
left
is
and
a
right.
whole other level.
yes.
Left and right. You just and then when it's not one, it's the other. You try to sit down. It's like you're doom scrolling on the phone, and they're like doing whatever. The second you sit down to really pay attention and do stuff, that's like they need 80 different things. You know?
Yes. Or the second you want to just have you time.
Yes.
Mom. And then my kids' new thing, Bruh.
Oh my God.
Bruh?
I have a 9-year-old
Okay.
boy, so
Yeah. It's really fun. Kids
yeah.
are fun.
So what are your future goals for Dank Girl?
To be honest with you guys, my dream goal is to open my own type of like resort, to where I can have like a Dank Girls headquarters pretty much, and where it would be like my main location of doing retreats. And then I really want to be able to kind of like branch that off into different states. So have like a set Dank Girls headquarters in each state that I can, and eventually have people to help me run those so I can do more retreats, because just talking about kids, that is why I'm limited on hosting retreats. So I would love to be able to do that. And that's really my biggest goal. And it's going to take me a while to get there, but I really feel like I will get there if I just keep going.
I mean, you've gotten this far you've done a lot of retreats so far with large numbers of women. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's rewarding.
Yeah, it is. We have this on like a little smaller scale with our little patrons. Like we do an annual trip usually.
Nice.
The last couple of years it's been Orlando, but we've been talking about going different places, like maybe Vegas or Colorado.
Yeah, Vegas would be really fun.
Yeah.
We're trying to do a Colorado meetup in October.
Oh, nice. I don't have anything planned for October.
Well, come on.
October 7th is the
Meet
date.
us up. We're trying to really get something together. We have our friends over at High Curious have a connection with like a farm / dispensary. So we're going to try to see if we can host something.
It also
out there.
has an event space there. So like,
nice. Well, yeah, definitely let me know after all of this. And I would love to talk about that.
And if you ever want to do a Miami or, Florida retreat
is also
or on the beach.
High on my list. I'm just nervous with the legality parts of it.
Yeah, because it's still only medical here.
Yeah, and that's how it was for me when I did Ohio. Technically, I could have gotten in trouble for that because you had to have a medical card. But
yeah, technically.
So I try to do only legal states, just so nobody has a worry in the world.
Right.
That makes sense. It does make sense. Well, the way things are going down here, it looks like we're going to have it on our ballot for 2024. So
nice.
It might be recreational before we know it.
Yay, that would be great.
Awesome.
Oh,
I'm using the mouse again.
I noticed also too. So a lot of times in the industry, we like to give back to the community. Do you also, does Dank Girls? It looks like you also have something set up too.
Absolutely. So every year we actually run like a homeless drive as soon as it starts getting colder, because Michigan winters are brutal. They can be brutal. And there's a lot of homelessness in Michigan, specifically like the Detroit metro area, which is where I'm from. And every year we run a homeless campaign and get tons of donations usually. And then my fiance and I actually, and some of our team or volunteers will come and help pass out. We make backpacks, and we just go and drive around and pass out backpacks that are typically full of like hygiene products, like perishable, like non-perishable food items that they can just eat whenever, toothbrushes, socks, hand warmers. Some of them will even get like, we have electric hand warmers. If one of them will get lucky that we happen to get one and they got that, like emergency tent houses and blankets and just stuff like that. And then we also always sponsor a couple families for Christmas. So those are just a few ways that we have given back. We've raised money for waitresses where I would just go in and we would just tip them big, from all the Dank Girls that day. I went out to dinner. So we like to do
I like
tons
those.
of different things. Yeah, it was really fun. It was really fun doing that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did you have to, what's your background? Did you have to have a business degree, or you just kind of, this was, like you said, you didn't really expect to have a business?
This is my favorite question being asked. It is my absolute favorite because I'm a high school dropout. I dropped out of school in the 10th grade. Like I said earlier, I wasn't a bad kid. I never skipped school. So saying I'm a high school dropout is kind of funny. But 10th, 11th grade, I already was failing because honestly, I'm not book smart. I had even told my parents as a child, like, I really feel like I need to be like tested for like special classes, and they like really just thought I was trying to play dumb. And as an adult, I now tell them I really was not playing dumb with you guys. Like, I truly never could comprehend those things. And so I dropped out, and then I went through like a few different, jobs until I started doing Dank Girls, and I built Dank Girls into a company that is now my full-time income. It's literally, my fiance is a stay-at-home dad. So, I mean, it's doing well for me, and I did not need any degree or any schooling background, and I'm self-taught 100%. I've never really had any help to do this.
Well, maybe that's why sometimes in school, like, they don't understand that everybody has a different learning capacity. Like, I'm also like someone who likes to learn by doing, and maybe that's why you say you're not book smart, but it's because you get involved in it, and that's how you learn, is by doing.
Yeah, that's me. I need to be hands-on. I can't be with 30 other kids all trying to learn the same thing. I need one-on-one, and I need to be doing it myself to learn how to do it. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I feel that big time.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, school wasn't my thing either. I like learning, but I didn't like having to be like just talked at all the time, and it was kind of like, so I could totally understand.
Yeah, not my thing at all. So this whole thing is just me.
Inspired, yeah. And sometimes ultimately that's like what you end up liking to do. Like, a lot of people go to school for stuff and spend a lot of time trying to focus on something, and a lot of money, and then they end up doing something, not enjoying it, or then go doing something completely different.
Something else,
right?
Yes, and then you just wasted $50,000 on a career that you're not even taking.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
They say, a lot of the most successful people have been high school dropouts or college dropouts, at least.
Yeah, for sure. And by no means am I saying don't go get an education, guys, because education is important too to some people, especially if there's certain things that you want to go and do. You need that. But in my case,
testing different things, right? Like experiencing different areas that you might not be interested in anything, and you go to college and you try a couple different things, and maybe you pick up one that you end up liking.
Yes.
And then maybe you drop out of college to do that after you figure it out, but you had to go to college to try different things to begin with.
Yeah, for sure. Most definitely.
And that was Chelsea Green, founder and CEO of Dank Girls Retreats. We really want to do a collaboration with her. I think it would be really fun. We should get together with the patrons and have a little getty with her company. All right. Yeah, she's on all the platforms. You can visit www.dankgirls.org. She's on Facebook as Dank Girls, at Dank Girls Retreats on Instagram, and at _ CHELXO on TikTok. Follow her, guys. Maybe and join her one of her retreats.
We definitely need to do a retreat with her.
Yeah,
that would be fun. Those pictures look great.
Yeah, and
it's like a lot of fun.
And go over to YouTube if you want to take a look and see. We show we go through some of the photos of some of the past retreats, so you can get an idea of what they do. We're on board. I'm ready to do one.
Yes. PSM Dank Girl Retreat.
Exact. PSM Dank Girls collaboration. We the greatest. You're the greatest. You know that? We really love you, patrons. We love you, listeners, for listening to us. And hanging out with us, smoking one with us over here.
We have reached the end of the show.
Thank you for joining us. Hey,
thank you, patrons. Yes. Thank you so much to Destiny,
Lauren,
Christy,
Denise,
Peaches,
Meredith,
Natalie,
Angelina,
Jenny,
Catherine,
Jay,
Chrissy,
Jesse,
Diane,
Gabby,
and
Leslie.
Hey, you too could have your name read by one of us. Join our Patreon. Patreon. Well, become a patron. It's so tricky. Become a patron on Patreon. You can get early access to stuff, full uncut versions of videos, stuff.
Come
and-
watch TV shows with us on Discord.
Yes, the
Do smoke
Discord.
sessions with us. Come to boat trips with us.
Subscribe, rate, review, and share our content.
See you guys next week.
Love
Bye.
you.